Hurricane Aaron continues to get larger in size. That means beach conditions are going to deteriorate over the next few days. We're going to have the latest forecast for you in a few minutes.
I'm Laverne McGee, your Osceola County community correspondent. The Center for LGBTQ Services in Kissimmee is closing due to budget cuts. Details coming up.
Plus, families are scrambling to find a new place to call home. City leaders condemned the extended stay where they were living. They had to be out by this morning.
Streaming on clickorlando.com and broadcasting live, you're watching News 6 at 4 p.m.
We are starting off News 6 at 4 with breaking news. Right now, firefighters are responding to a gas line leak near the Winn-Dixie Shopping Center east of downtown St. Cloud. Obviously, this is the wrong graphic that we have up there right now. Southbound lanes of Narcoossee Road are closed. Businesses have been evacuated. We do have a crew on the way to the scene. We'll keep you updated on that.
All right, so we're keeping a close eye on what you just saw there. It's the powerful Hurricane Aaron as a Category 4 storm churns in the Atlantic.
The storm is expected to bring waves up to 8 feet crashing onto our shores. Meteorologist Jonathan Kagas joins us now with everything we need to know. Jonathan, we will definitely feel some impacts from this storm.
Yeah, if you're going to the beach over the next few days, just be very, very careful. The red flags are going to be flying over the next, really the entire week and maybe even up to the weekend as we watch the latest on this storm. Again, we're watching this. This is going to miss us several hundred miles to the east. I know there's still stuff on TikTok that says it's not going to make the turn. There it is right there, west-northwest. So it has already begun to do that. It's going to continue to swing past the Turks and Caicos and then go up and out. But again, it's going to grow in size over the next few days. So it's going to be something to see on satellite. And as it grows in size, again, that's going to send some big waves back in our direction. Again, the rip current risk, it's going to be through the roof. Again, you're going to see all those warnings if you're heading to the Atlantic beaches over the next couple of days. The surf is going to increase today back up to 2 to 3 feet for the rest of the evening. And then once we get into tomorrow, back to 4 to 6 feet. I think the worst day, the worst of the worst anyway, I think all week is going to be pretty nasty at the beaches. Going to climb to about 5 to 8 feet. Those are the breaking waves on shore, or even higher for the small craft. Again, there's going to be small craft advisories in play for pretty much the entire week as Aaron passes safely to our east by several hundred miles. We also have some thunderstorms locally hanging out toward the Fullerton Turnpike, closer into Osceola County, also Southern Lake. These are trying to drift off towards the north. We'll have the latest forecast. It actually has storm chances going down, and that is because of Hurricane Aaron. We'll break all that down coming up at about 4:17.
Jonathan, thank you. Developing right now, the city of Orlando has fenced off an extended stay hotel on I-Drive that has been condemned. The Howard Johnson is near Kirkman Road, just off I-4. Orlando community correspondent Mike Valenti joins us there live outside that hotel. And Mike, today is the deadline for people to move out of there.
It is the deadline indeed, and this has been an all-day affair, an exhausting one to say the least for many of the tenants, some of whom have still not left the area. We'll get to that in a second, but I want to show what's behind me. These posts represent where the fence will go. We're still waiting for them to actually put up the fence. That will signify that people cannot go onto the property. Again, as we told you last week, this property, the Howard Johnson by Wyndham off I-Drive, was condemned due to what the city's calling immediate life safety concerns. Remember, the fire alarms, they're not working inside. On top of that, in the past, there's been numerous code enforcement violations. So this is just one in a laundry list of issues that this place has faced over the last year or so. But this obviously was the final straw. We also know that the owners last week did not pay the water bill. That is what was the catalyst that put this whole thing into motion when they noticed the fire alarms weren't working. But let me come over here and show you what we're looking at. It looks like some kind of makeshift encampment of sorts. This is a contingent of tenants who have still not left the area. They tell me it's because they don't qualify for a voucher. They don't have an Orange County ID. Apparently that is what they need to get into another extended stay. So right now they're just waiting for something to happen. They talk to community legal services. There's homeless service providers here as well. We can feel a breeze right now, thankfully, but for much of the day, it's been extremely hot. We saw the repercussions of the heat earlier today when firefighters and medics tended to a young child who was suffering from heat-related illness. More on that aspect of this evolving situation coming up tonight at 5. But for now, we're live off I-Drive at the Howard Johnson by Wyndham. That was condemned at 10 a.m. this morning. I'm your Orlando community correspondent, Mike Valenti, News 6.
Yeah, tough situation for a lot of families out there today. Mike, thank you.
Well, with hurricane season ramping up, one local city wants to make sure it has a solution for flooding. Deltona wants to fix two major roads. We're talking about Catalina Road and Elkham Boulevard. Both have ended up underwater during recent hurricanes. Your Volusia County community correspondent Angie Casada explains how this is a problem she has seen firsthand.
Yeah, I do. I grew up here in Deltona, and I remember as a child seeing Catalina and Elkham Boulevard just be underwater after a hurricane. And it's the same story now after Ian, Nicole, even Milton last year. The city, though, thinks that they may have a solution by raising both of these roads higher. For parents like Amanda Cloud, a mother to 5, it's more than an inconvenience.
During every hurricane we've been part of, it's very frustrating and overwhelming to try to find alternate routes for months and months at a time while the water subsides. It's very difficult and challenging and just inconvenient, especially when you have small children and you need to go to work on time. It's been difficult dealing with it.
Tonight, commissioners are expected to approve to a $35,000 agreement with Pegasus Engineering to manage a FEMA grant. The plan is to raise Elkham by at least 2 feet above flood stage. The area of concern has 2 lakes on both the north and south side. A similar change would be made to a stretch of Catalina Boulevard just a couple of miles away.
The Elkham and Catalina road elevation projects have been approved for Phase 1 funding for engineering and design. As soon as Phase 1 is complete, Phase 2 will begin, which includes construction.
If approved, that work could start as early as October, something I know a lot of my neighbors here would welcome before the next big storm rolls in. That vote is on the consent agenda tonight at 6:30 at City Hall. Reporting in Deltona, I'm your Volusia County community correspondent Angie Casada, News 6.
Central Florida Congressman Corey Mills attended a virtual court hearing today. His former girlfriend is trying to get a restraining order against him. Mills, who you will see here on the right side of your screen, sitting next to his attorney, denies any wrongdoing. The married congressman is accused of threatening to expose nude photos and videos of his former girlfriend, who is the current Miss United States. Lindsay Langston, who was seated to the right of her attorney during today's online court hearing, was planning to present evidence against Mills today, but the judge agreed to postpone the hearing to a future date since both sides said they needed more time to present their cases. A woman is behind bars in Alachua County this afternoon, accused in an Orange County shooting that left a man dead. The shooting happened on August 2nd off of South Orange Blossom Trail, not far from Southgate Drive and Pleasant Hill Road. Investigators say they've arrested Amber Shanice on a warrant for second-degree murder with a firearm. Investigators say they have no information on when she may be returned to Orange County or any other information on this shooting.
7 years after it first opened, the Kissimmee office of the LGBTQ+ Center is closing down. Leaders say it's because of federal funding and other budget cuts. Your Osceola County community correspondent Laverne McGee spoke with them about shutting down.
So unfortunately, our Kissimmee location will be closing on August 31st.
Nicole Parker helps run the center in Orlando on Mills Avenue. The nonprofit has served Central Florida's LGBTQ community since 1978. The Kissimmee office is located here at 901 East Oak Street to help support the LGBTQ community in Osceola County. They offer services such as mental health counseling and HIV testing, but federal funding and other grants are affecting them.
Just for budget cuts, so in April we announced some funding cuts that we received, and we're just starting to see that reflect in our budget, and we want to make sure that we are sustainable.
The center was busy when we got there, but due to privacy concerns and HIPAA laws surrounding medical testing, we were not able to show people on camera. But several people I spoke with said they were disappointed the center was closing.
We've almost been open for 50 years. We want to be open for another 50 years. So we're focusing on our Orlando location.
People can still get HIV testing in Kissimmee at their clinical partner called Harmony, located in the same building. For other services such as counseling, they'll need to go to the main locations on Mills Avenue and Hillcrest Street in Orlando. Your Osceola County community correspondent, Laverne McGee, News 6.
Today, a judge heard from civil rights groups who say constitutional rights for detainees are being violated at South Florida's controversial immigration facility, Alligator Alcatraz. Lawyers say detainees are being barred from meeting with legal counsel. They're being held without charges, and a federal immigration court has canceled bond hearings. The lawsuit is from the American Civil Liberties Union and immigrants' rights advocates. They gave an update after today's hearing.
What happened today is that we won a big victory. The government has caved on the fact that they are now providing bond hearings, and they have designated an immigration court for people who are held at Alligator Alcatraz to be able to seek release from custody. This is a victory for people held at the facility, a victory for civil rights, and a victory for immigrants all over the country.
The Department of Homeland Security has denied the allegations. Meantime, a hearing on the fate of the construction at Alligator Alcatraz ended without an immediate ruling last week. That lawsuit is coming from Friends of the Everglades. The group claims the facility did not go through the necessary environmental review mandated by federal law. That claim was disputed by the Florida Division of Emergency Management. Right now, there is a 2-week construction pause at the detention center that ends on Thursday.
A live look now at the White House in Washington, D.C., where the president met with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky today to follow up on how to end the war in Ukraine. President Trump setting up today's meeting, saying Zelensky can end the war almost immediately yesterday on social media, but there are some serious sticking points that have to be settled. Among the main issues at today's meeting was what happens to about 20% of Ukrainian territory Russian troops currently control. Other European leaders met at the White House today hoping for a deal that includes security guarantees so Russia does not launch another invasion in just a few months. The president saying any peace would have to be long-term and pledged U.S. support.
This is very long-term. We're not talking about a 2-year peace and then we end up in this mess again. When it comes to security, there's going to be a lot of help. It's going to be good. They are first line of defense because they're there. They're Europe. But we're going to help them out also. We'll be involved.
Nearly 70% of Ukrainians now support a negotiated peace deal, according to a recent poll. That's up from a little more than 20% at the beginning of the invasion. Now to travel trouble all over North America.
The airline seeing flight attendants walking out and what this means for your next trip.
Last year, Floridians lost tens of millions of dollars to romance scams. A local woman is sharing her painful story of losing $60,000 in just 6 weeks. I'm investigator Lewis Bold, and I'll tell you the signs to look out for coming up.
News 6 Insider is sponsored by Orange County Library System.
Last year, Floridians lost tens of millions of dollars to romance scams. According to the Federal Trade Commission, it happens more than you might think. I'm News 6 investigator Louis Bolden. I sat down with a local woman who shares her painful story of losing $60,000 in 6 weeks.
It was like pen pals. We were just talking innocently.
On Facebook, Carol West thought she was talking to a decorated Army officer, a commanding 4-star general who claimed to be deployed in South Korea.
Sent me pictures of him in his uniform and sent me pictures of his dog tags, his driver's license, his passport.
The messages came multiple times a day and became more intimate, even early morning prayers.
Lord, I ask you to place your healing hand upon her. It's exciting. I would sit up and wait for him to text me.
But the texts took a turn. He had a box full of precious Army medals, but having them securely shipped back to the U.S. would cost $7,500, he said. West agreed to send it. He wanted it sent via gift and gaming cards.
I said, I don't understand why, because the game cards say they're only good for games and they can only be used in the U.S. Can you explain that to me? And he never really did.
She bought the cards, lots of them, but the items supposedly got stuck in customs in Mexico, and the Mexican government needed $30,000 in cash.
So like a fool, I cashed in my only CD I had and mailed the cash to an address in North Carolina, which I didn't understand why it was going to North Carolina if it was going to Mexico.
Over 6 weeks, she sent more than $60,000. It was only when her bank accounts were empty did she realize it was a scam.
I was sick. I was sick to my stomach. How could I fall for this?
West is by no means alone. According to the FTC, last year in Florida, there were almost 3,400 reports of romance scams, and Floridians lost nearly $93 million.
You just have to be so guarded, and it's hard when you're vulnerable.
Caroline O'Brien Buster is the special agent in charge of the United States Secret Service Orlando field office.
These scammers, they'll troll through obituaries, through Facebook postings, and they just know exactly what to say.
To protect yourself, never send money to someone you've only met online. Be skeptical of excuses for not meeting in person or talking on the phone. And always talk to family or friends about new online relationships. And if something feels off, trust your instincts and report it to authorities immediately. Having lost her husband, West admits she was vulnerable.
I was a pigeon waiting to be shot, and I did get shot.
The Volusia County Sheriff's Office tells me there could be an arrest in this case soon, so stay tuned. Remember, don't fall for the scheme, don't get ripped off, but if you do, email me at theinvestigators@wkmg.com. I'm Louis Bolden, News 6.
It is heartbreaking to hear a story like that.
Yeah. Your heart goes out to her. All right, time for a look at our forecast now. Meteorologist Jonathan Kegas joins us now. You're talking about Aaron, and even though it will have some impact on us, but not in the way that most people think.
Exactly, yeah, it is not coming here. It will stay hundreds of miles away. However, it's going to be such a huge storm, and wait till you see the satellite image tomorrow. I mean, it is impressive already. You see the outer bands almost closer to Cuba, extending well back towards the northeast of the Turks and Caicos. This is moving away from Florida. And again, we're continuing to talk about Aaron because it's not coming here. There's still a lot of misinformation out there that's saying that it is, and I want to be clear that it's not. But again, if you're heading to the beach, that's going to be the big deal with this. It's moving off to the west-northwest, and that's the key. The turn has been made. 140-mile-per-hour Category 4 storm. So, I mean, it is a very good thing. This is not going to hit anything. I want to show you, though, over the next couple of days, this is through Thursday, really Wednesday into Thursday. Those are going to be our biggest wave days. And you see, no doubt, the core is staying way out to sea here. But still, because of the power of this thing and because it's so expansive, we're going to see wave heights crashing along the eastern seaboard, the Atlantic coast of Florida, anywhere from 6 to 8 feet over the next couple of days, really starting on Tuesday night and then increasing on Wednesday a little bit. And then through Thursday, still, there's 5 o'clock in the evening on Thursday, crashing waves at about 6 to 7 feet as well. We're the core of the storm in purple there. We're talking about 40 to 50-foot waves right around the center. So again, things are going to get a little choppy out there. Temperatures back to the upper 80s right now. The breeze out of the northeast at about 10 to 15 miles an hour. So it's a little steamy out there. We do have a few thunderstorms getting going this evening. We have scattered thunderstorms pretty much right along the Florida Turnpike, just south of us in Kissimmee and St. Cloud. These are drifting back off to the south and west. We have more thunderstorms in and around parts of right around Lake Panasoffkee, Claremont, and in Mineola. And in Mascot, we have some thunderstorms. Those are diving off to the south again. Everything trying to stay away from the Atlantic coast. So if you have plans this evening along the beaches, I think you're looking pretty good. Again, if you're getting in the water, watch out for that rip current risk because those are already increasing. And that is because of Hurricane Erin. Scattered thunderstorms to the rest of the evening. You see them kind of drifting back to the west. That's 7 o'clock, everything trying to cling towards I-75. You also saw a pushback to the east a little bit. That's the nudge of the west coast sea breeze trying to stay strong and try to force itself back inland tonight. So a few of these could linger late into your evening. They're 6, 7 o'clock on your Tuesday morning. Would not be surprised if there are a few scattered thunderstorms hanging out right along the Atlantic coast, but otherwise everybody should be dry getting back into work tomorrow. And then there you go on Tuesday afternoon. The rain chances going down, and that's actually also courtesy of Hurricane Erin. You get sinking air on the outside of these hurricanes, so we're in that prime zone to help limit thunderstorm development tomorrow. Now here's a look at your forecast.
Your forecast is sponsored by Renewal by Andersen.
Temperatures tomorrow back in the low to mid 90s. Rain chances down a little bit to 30%. We'll keep things relatively speaking on the lower side through the middle of the week, and then we'll gradually get back into our more typical August summertime thunderstorm pattern with temperatures staying in the mid 90s, guys, with rain chances at 70% for the weekend.
Jonathan, thank you. The labor dispute at Canada's largest airline has stranded thousands of passengers during the height of the summer travel season.
We'll have the impact across North America and why flight attendants are walking out despite a government order to return to work. That's next.
This portion of the news is sponsored by Light Orlando, delivering hope together.
A Canadian Labour Board has declared a strike of Air Canada flight attendants illegal, but so far they are refusing to return to work.
Yeah, for a third straight day, more than 10,000 flight attendants are hitting the picket lines. The decision to go on strike followed roughly 8 months of negotiations between Air Canada and the Canadian Union of Public Employees. The union has argued flight attendants deserve higher wages and payment for time spent working when planes are on the ground. On Friday, the union rejected Air Canada's request for government-directed arbitration to settle the matter.
The union has been available the whole time. The last time we saw the employer was the night prior to the strike. They brought a counter offer to wages that was still well below par. They didn't address unpaid work or anything else.
The airline says the strike is impacting around 130,000 people a day at the height of the summer travel season. Checking Orlando International Airport's flight status, all Air Canada flights have been canceled, at least for today. Air Canada says affected customers can head to its website or its app for a refund. As we enter the second week in the school year, one school is giving students a different way to graduate.
We'll show you how it is helping teens get back on track to receive their diplomas.
DeLand is the latest city to look into cracking down on e-bikes. I'm Molly Reed. Coming up, I'll tell you what they're looking to include in an ordinance and why downtown business owners call it the Wild West right now.
Welcome back. We are following several top stories right now.
The city of Orlando has fenced off an extended stay hotel. The Howard Johnson on I Drive near Kirkman Road has just been condemned. Dozens of people who lived there were notified last week to leave by today due to safety concerns. News 6's Orlando community correspondent Mike Valenti will bring us the latest on the scene at 5 o'clock. Central Florida Congressman Corey Mills attended a virtual hearing today. His former girlfriend, Lindsay Langston, who is Miss United States, is seeking a restraining order, accusing him of threatening to expose nude photos and videos of her. Mills denies the allegations. The judge postponed the hearing. Today, a judge heard arguments from civil rights saying constitutional rights are being violated at South Florida's controversial immigration facility, Alligator Alcatraz. The ACLU Senior Counsel called it a big victory, saying the government has agreed to provide bond hearings and designate an immigration court for detainees there. The Department of Homeland Security denies the allegations.
4 months after a mass shooting, students will return to class next week at FSU for the fall semester. 2 people were killed, 5 others were hurt during the April 17th shooting. A 20-year-old is charged with murder and attempted murder. Angelicia Bruton caught up with one of the wounded students.
During Madison Askin's spring semester at Florida State, she was wounded when another student opened fire on campus. 2 people were killed and several more were injured. Not long after the attack, Askins told me she wouldn't let that moment define her or stop her.
Doesn't get my future plans. He doesn't deserve to stop us from enjoying our college, university life.
And she didn't stop. With a fresh new look, trading blonde for something darker, Askins is ready to take on her final year in her master's program.
So it's like I got that red, that copper, made it more fall colors. Getting ready to get back to campus. I got my nails done.
She's also moving around a lot better.
We have so many mugs.
No longer relying on her walker as much, despite the bullet still lodged in her spine. Doctors haven't decided if it should be removed.
I would love to go traveling once I'm slightly better.
The grad student spent her summer balancing health appointments with an internship in Nashville.
I learned so much. I'm so glad I went. Physical ability-wise, definitely sucked. Did hurt. But the good news was my company was very understandable. They helped me get a standing desk and everything, which made it so much easier.
But she admits some moments still hit hard.
I do seek counseling. I do have triggers. I acknowledge all of that. But I keep going.
Reminders that she's unconquerable come from everywhere. Family, friends, the university, and even her new emotional support cat, Navi.
He's my little ESA animal. I'll be taking him up to Tallahassee.
Askin's advice to other students, don't let fear take control. Bad things can happen, but staying connected and checking in with others can make all the difference.
Sure that you have those hard conversations with your loved ones about crisis situations and what to do, because it could save you or a loved one.
A tragic scene in South Florida last Tuesday, and a man now behind bars facing vehicular homicide charges. This is surveillance video from Florida's Turnpike in Fort Pierce. It shows the backup on the highway after investigators say that driver made an illegal U-turn that ended in 3 people dying. Investigators say the crash happened near mile marker 170. According to the Florida Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles, a van crashed into the back of the truck as that driver was turning, killing all 3 people. State troopers say with the help of ICE, they learned that the driver entered the U.S. illegally in 2018 and got his commercial driver's license in California. Troopers say he crossed all the northbound lanes, an official use only turnaround, and he should have been more careful.
Nobody's supposed to use it except the Florida Highway Patrol and other emergency vehicles. You're considered a professional driver, and you should know better.
He has now been arrested and is being charged with 3 counts of vehicular homicide, according to our CBS affiliate in West Palm Beach. They say he is being held in a California jail. He has an ICE detainer.
DeLand city leaders are now looking for solutions to what they're calling a growing problem with teens and e-bikes. They say an ordinance is coming and it will regulate riders on where they can go. Your Volusia County community correspondent Molly Reed breaks down the problem and what the ordinance could look like.
One DeLand business owner here in downtown called the e-bike riding here the Wild West. Now, according to state law, e-bike riders are supposed to be following the same rules as regular bicycles, but the police here say many riders aren't doing that.
Because I would much rather your kid go home with a let's say, $65 bicycle ticket than me having to show up and we have to tell you, unfortunately, your kid was involved in a serious accident.
Just last month here, a 15-year-old girl was hit by a car and killed on her e-scooter while riding to cross South Woodland Boulevard. DeLand Police Lieutenant Mike Stacy says they're seeing a trend in people on e-bikes and e-scooters, and many breaking the bicycle rules are getting hurt, whether it be their fault or the cars.
The big one is always going to be distractions for, young kids. I've seen kids riding with bikes in their hands, they have their AirPods in, they're kind of oblivious as to what's going on.
The city is looking to beef up those rules with its own ordinance that's currently being drafted. Commissioner Richard Paiva says he's been told several rules are under consideration for it that they can follow under state law.
So it's things like the age of the users of the different devices, the speed limits of the different devices, where the devices can be used.
They could even require helmets.
And we've been having these conversations for years now about when is it going to be regulated.
Downtown DeLand business owner J.C. Figueroa sells e-bikes out of his bike shop and says a crackdown is needed for juveniles and adults.
We're seeing a lot of people without licenses now, getting one form of transportation revoked, and now they're on another self-propelled transportation, which is, they shouldn't be able to do.
Right now, the ordinance is being drafted. It will not be on the agenda for this week's City Commission meeting, but I'm told it will be on the agenda in the coming months. I'm your DeLand, Volusia County Community Correspondent Molly Reed, News 6.
Our sister station in Jacksonville just last week reported the St. Johns County Sheriff is drafting legislation to update Florida's e-bike laws. Sheriff Robert Hardwick says the legislation will clarify e-bike regulations, which currently fall under bicycle statutes. He has the support of Senator Tom Leek and Representative Kim Kendall to sponsor the bill in the state Senate and House.
We are now in the second week of school, and one alternative charter high school is making sure students graduate on time, and it's tuition-free. Your Osceola County Community Correspondent Stephanie Rodriguez stopped by to learn how it works and how it helps set students up for success.
I'm here at Vineland Lakes High School, the newest tuition-free public school here in Osceola County. Soon they'll be moving into this brand new space behind me, but until then, they're hitting the ground running, giving students a different way to graduate.
My heart and soul is happy, not just to be in Osceola County, but just overall, because I know that the work that we do has so much value.
Dr. Tiana Coleman and her staff work with Second Mile, an organization that helps districts create accelerated learning schools.
And what we really do is help those students that need to catch up on credits so that they can achieve their goal of graduation.
Through individualized courses, teachers help them earn credits and grow.
You're allowed to, we wear many hats, so we're allowed to be the doctor, the counselor, the teacher, the pastor, like everything.
We know where they're coming from and any little other tidbits that may be needed in order to help them be successful. And also with our curriculum, it can be translated into over 36 languages.
17-year-old Otto Rivera is a soon-to-be success story.
My plan is to graduate in December.
He just transferred to Vineland Lakes from another Second Mile school. And as he prepares to cross the finish line, he encourages others to follow his footsteps.
Just because I fell behind too, and now that I came here, I'm right on path and even further than what I'm supposed to be.
They offer rolling enrollment, which means you can come down here and sign your child up. They also have flexible schedules and offer help with transportation. We'll have more details at clickorlando.com. I'm your Osceola County Community Correspondent, Stephanie Rodriguez, News 6.
A local program is getting results for adults with special needs.
Yeah, it is helping them land a job. Coming up, we're catching up with a man who is now working at a local hotel because of the program and the opportunity it's giving him. That's next.
Plus, we'll tell you about a great Florida experience where you can watch a baby gator hatch right in the palm of your hand.
We are pinpointing a lot of thunderstorms tonight, especially kind of right smack dab, right down the middle of the peninsula and to the west. We're going to pinpoint where all this action is heading and talk about the rest of the week ahead coming up in about 6 minutes.
And before we head to break, we have an all-new primetime schedule on News 6 Plus to tell you about. We have a new take on the day's news on News 6 tonight. That's at 9. Then go in depth as we track the tropics and answer your weather questions at 9:30. And then you can watch the late news an hour earlier. It's all tonight on News 6 Plus. Download our streaming app for free. Search WKMG in your smart TV's app store. It's also available on Roku, Apple TV, and Fire TV.
I'm here in the Wyndham Grand Orlando Resort, Bonnet Creek, with Jacob, who got hired here thanks to Inclusivity, a nonprofit that helps adults with special needs like Jacob get jobs in the hospitality industry.
I get vacuum cleaners and wiping the lights and clean the doors.
A year ago, Jacob toured the hotel as part of Inclusivity's immersion program and decided a job here might just be for him. Now, he's a valued member of the cleaning staff.
We're so proud that you have welcomed Jacob here. He's been here since last May. Okay? So I am sure that everyone would agree we need a few more Jacobs here.
That's his boss, General Manager Kathy Zucker. She says Jacob is the model employee.
It is really, really hard to find great people working in hospitality and then find such passion behind it. So it does fill a need. It's certainly not a charity process.
Mike Schucht with Inclusivity choked up with pride seeing how Jacob has adapted to hospitality work.
When I see him vacuuming in the hallway, it really makes me emotional, because, you have a guy that didn't have a job, and now he does have a job. And, I spoke to his parents once, and, Jacob has a renewed person.
Zucker even hoping to expand Jacob's role, making the most of his infectious smile.
I would love for him to kind of like mirror someone at the front desk so he can see the whole activity and just kind of continue to grow within himself.
As for Jacob,
I just like to work on myself and helping people, yeah.
You like to help people?
Yes, sir, yes.
he's just grateful he can experience the fulfillment and the paycheck of an honest day's work. In Lake Buena Vista, Alex Cook, News 6.
Now, earlier this month, we told you about the My Save Florida Home program, which helps low-income Floridians strengthen their homes for hurricane season. Now the program has expanded on who is eligible for it. Originally, it was for low-income homeowners ages 60 and older. Well, starting today, low-income earners of any age can apply. The program defines low income as household income at or below 80% of the county median income. State lawmakers have allocated $280 million for the program. Last week, News 6 spoke with a man we followed up with after 1 year who said he got results thanks to the program.
Every time I reached out to you guys, something got moving. It was a blessing. I get a little emotional, but to know that there are honest, good people out there.
Homeowners are encouraged to apply early to maximize their chances. The next application window will open on September 1st for moderate income homeowners ages 60 or older.
Yeah, it is that time of year to be thinking about, fortifying your home. We're getting very lucky these days.
Yes.
Meteorologist Jonathan Kegas joins us now. We've got some stuff on the radar, and I know people have been talking a lot about Aaron as well.
We will. We're going to get into Aaron a little bit. The good news is, again, it is not coming here. Can't state that enough. We'll get all into the latest projections on that storm. We do have our own run-of-the-mill routine afternoon thunderstorms firing as we speak. They're prolific. You can track those storms alongside me tonight by downloading that free News 6 weather app. Again, one of the greatest tools on there, free lightning detection, to get that push alert when there's lightning detected within 10 miles. And you certainly have, if you have the app, and I hope you do, right around the Orlando metro area, certainly around Windermere, Oak Ridge, tons and tons of lightning. These are hardly moving tonight, so would not be surprised if we do have some minor flooding and poor drainage areas happening from about Oak Ridge into Kissimmee. You'll notice, again, over the last 15 minutes, they're just kind of at a standstill. The west and east coast sea breeze kind of going at it just to the west of Orlando, so we'll see some things try to work back off toward the west and then push back east. Right now in St. Cloud around Lake Toho, we're looking pretty good, although there's lightning close by. If we do see this push back a little bit, then we could have some of those lightning strikes getting a little too close for comfort. So I'm watching that for you guys closely. Point Siena, we have some of the heavy rain, especially on the west side of town. Lightning all over the place, though, so I wouldn't take the dog out just yet. Even if it's not raining, you're likely hearing the thunder in the distance. Let's take you back up to Claremont. I've been watching the cell for you as well in southern Lake County, closer to Mascot as well, hanging around 50. You see that storm just slowly working from the southwest back to the northeast, downpour over Mineola. This is going to try to head back down toward Ferndale, up toward Ferndale, and into Montverde, so keeping a close eye on that. And then we just have some scattered junk all over the place here, mainly along into the west of I-4. Denellen, we have a downpour and some lightning nearby. Keeping a close eye on all of this as we go into the evening. Now, taking to the rest of the evening, things are going to try to push back over toward I-75, everything that we have out there right now, and then might get a little pushback to the east as we were already seeing. That's 9 o'clock, so could have a few scattered downpours still lingering on the radar tonight. Once we get into tomorrow, would not be surprised if we do have a few stray downpours right along our Atlantic coast. Otherwise, most of us should be dry on the way into work tomorrow. Only a few scattered thunderstorms coming back into the afternoon. I think a lot of us are going to be dry through the day ahead. For that, here's a look at your Pinpoint Accurate forecast.
Your forecast is sponsored by Ramjack.
You can see one of those downpours in the Skycam going forward. We'll be watching these thunderstorms closely again through the rest of the evening. Otherwise, though, we're going to be on the quieter side as we move into tomorrow. Again, a few thunderstorms out there. 30% shot tomorrow for storms. 40% chance on Wednesday. We're back to a 40% chance as well on Thursday. Believe it or not, the lower rain chances are actually because of Hurricane Aaron. We get the sinking air on the outside of the hurricane. The weather's pretty nice. It's a little hot, though. Rain chances back up to more typical numbers as we get into the weekend.
Jonathan, thank you. You can open your camera app, scan the QR code on your screen right now, and click the link. We want to see your weather pictures and videos. They could end up on TV. You can also go to clickorlando.com/pins and upload your pictures and videos that way.
All right, well, would you do this? Right now, you can experience a baby alligator coming out of its egg right in your hand.
We got to experience Florida in a way that we haven't before.
Only in Florida, right? We'll show you the only place where you can do this legally. That's next. As we take a live look at Mount Dora, you're watching News 6. We'll be right back.
Coming up in the morning, homeowners in another Central Florida city facing a big hike to their water bill.
Yeah, I'll tell you why the mayor says his hands are tied and when the sticker shock could set in.
Plus, the latest on Aaron and the dangerous surf it's churning along our coast.
We'll see you for News 6 mornings starting at 6.
Only in Florida. Right now, you can help a baby alligator hatch right in the palm of your hands.
Sign me up. Bianca Smith is in South Florida showing us how.
Where else can you get a chance to hatch an alligator out of an alligator egg?
You heard that right. Helping gators hatch right out of their eggs.
So our hatching festival is so unique because you can't do it anywhere else.
This marks the beginning of Gatorama Hatching Festival, where for 2 weeks, people can come to help gators hatch right in the palm of their hands.
We thought when we first started this 24 years ago, that people would do it one time and say, oh, that's pretty cool, and never come back.
This Gator Wonderland is owned by Alan and Patty Register.
I think it is like nothing else because it's an opportunity, especially for young children, to see the egg and then the live animal. You know, it's just that transformation, so wow.
Jennifer Jurotich brought her son David to the hatching festival. She says this was a life-changing experience.
He has a different perspective now of our, the animals that we have around, and I think he loved it. I thought he was going to be scared, to be honest, when we came, but he was like all over the alligators.
And if you time it right, you can become the proud parent of a gator and get to name it.
Only in Florida. This is Winky.
Register says they have over 4,000 alligators in their incubator, ready to hatch.
There he is. Today's his birthday.
This is something Titch says she will never forget.
We got to experience Florida in a way that we haven't before.
Reporting in Glades County, Bianca Smith.
All right, it's giving Jurassic Park, isn't it? Well, the Hatching Festival runs until September 1st. You can find it at Gatorama in Palmdale. That's in South Florida. I would like to hear from our local crocodilian expert, Savannah Bowen at Gatorland, how she feels about that.
Curious, yeah. And I guess it's okay as long as the mama gator's not anywhere nearby.
I think that's
the key.
News 6 at 5 is next.
Anchor Matt Austin is in the newsroom with what's ahead.
Well, speeding drivers are putting a Seminole County neighborhood at risk. We'll show you the dangerous stretch of road where crashes have taken out power poles and left damage behind, and what officials are doing to try to slow things down. Plus, Orlando families forced out in the heat with nowhere to go, why the city condemned a local hotel, and what tenants are saying about lost rent and security deposits. Your forecast only minutes away. You can see a nasty little live look here near the Central Florida Parkway. It is definitely stormy in spots. Don't forget, you can stream all of our newscasts for free anytime on News 6 Plus.
Now at 5, safety concerns at a motel in Orlando's tourist district forced dozens of people to leave.
Many say they have nowhere else to go.
We're going to lose everything we own up, everything.
The big question today here is, did City Hall send out this letter citywide about solar? You can see it's got the city's logo and the city's address. The mayor calls this impersonation. This story coming up.
Look at the pieces where a driver crashed right into this wall. Neighbors here in Seminole County tell me enough is enough. We're looking into just how fast cars are going and what the county has done to encourage them to slow down.
You're watching News 6 at 5. Thank you for joining us on this Monday. I'm Matt Austin.
And I'm Lisa Bell. First, we want to start with the weather tonight as we take a live look at some heavy rain falling on I-4 near the Central Florida Expressway. We have some storms popping up across Central Florida right now.
We're also keeping an eye on Aaron. Let's get you over to meteorologist Jonathan Kagas.
Yeah, guys, a lot of our routine afternoon thunderstorms, but they are packing a punch tonight. Look at all the lightning just west of the Orlando metro area, pretty much drawing a line right down I-4 tonight. And that's where we have the strongest of the thunderstorms pushing through. You see them all kind of lifting off to the south, from south to north this evening. And we're going to continue to watch these guys work their way back over the next couple of minutes here. Over the next 15 to 20 minutes, we're going to see those really start to slide on through. Take it closer into downtown Orlando, really just off to the south and west. Dr. Phillips, we are getting pounded right now. Same for us into Windermere. Ocoee, we're in between these a few downpours. This is on the eastern side of the attractions as well. We'll turn the loop back on for you. And just to show you again, these are kind of lifting and meandering, so would not be surprised if we have some minor flooding happening right around from Kissimmee back to Point Siena, then through Oak Ridge, Windermere, Dr. Phillips as well. A couple of downpours, a few lightning strikes just north of Claremont tonight. And then we have more development, more thunderstorms developing to the west of I-4, mainly in Marion County, that I'm watching closely for you guys. Latest on Aaron, it's still a Category 4 hurricane tonight. This advisory just coming in from the Hurricane Center. Again, there continues to be that turn. So while it may look ominous, again, if you're just looking at it, it has the escape route there. It's had it for about 7 days, and it is going to continue to lift to the north and east, split the uprights here, but a very big storm, big, dangerous beach conditions coming to Florida. We're going to talk all about that coming up in about 15 minutes, guys.
Jonathan, thank you. Breaking right now, firefighters are responding to a gas line leak in St. Cloud. Fire Rescue says the leak was reported near the Winn-Dixie Shopping Center east of downtown. Southbound lanes of Narcoossee Road are closed and businesses have been evacuated. We have a crew on the way to the scene. We'll keep you updated here on News 6 and on clickorlando.com.
Right now in Orlando's tourist district, the city of Orlando is fencing off an extended stay hotel that has been condemned. Now, this is happening at the Howard Johnson by Wyndham on International Drive right near Kirkman Road. Our Orlando community correspondent Mike Valenti joins us now live outside that motel. Mike, what are you seeing right now?
So actually, we are outside the motel, but we're inside our news vehicle. Jonathan was right. These storms really are packing a punch due to safety concerns, the ferocious thunder, lightning, and rain. We had to stay inside for our own safety for this live shot, but other people don't have the same luxury. You can see right outside the Howard Johnson, there are several tenants trying to take cover, building what looks like a makeshift mini encampment. They have their doggos with them, their belongings. It's really rough to watch. Where they're going to go, honestly, I have no idea. We know, as we've told you earlier today, that the building was condemned. People had to be out by 10 a.m. this morning. The gas, the water, and the electricity all shut off, so they can't go back inside. And before we saw the storms, it was really the heat that was causing some major problems.
Just feet away from a building that no longer has power, first responders tended to a young child apparently suffering from a heat-related illness. We're told he and his family were outside for hours, along with their belongings, waiting for a ride to another extended stay. The frustration here has been boiling since the sun came up Monday morning.
It's hot out here. We ain't got nowhere to go. We ain't got nothing to eat, nothing to drink.
It's too hot for the puppies.
It's way too hot for these puppies.
These are just some of the dozens forced out of the Howard Johnson Monday. The city condemning the building due to, quote, immediate life safety concerns. Last week, we learned the fire alarms inside did not work, and the owners had not paid the water bill.
Where are you going to go now?
I have no idea. I have no clue.
You know, we just trying to see what we can gather up and fight
our money back.
Many people here tell us they paid rent right before they learned last week they would have to leave. And they don't know if they'll get that money back or the security deposit.
Ramel, you able to tell us anything about what's happening? Why it was condemned? No. Are you the property manager?
No.
Is your name not?
But they're telling me to tell you to get the news off the property, the owner.
Who's
the
there?
Police, yeah.
Okay.
But I
You don't work here?
No.
They're saying you're the property manager, no? No. Okay.
That was our exchange last Thursday with the man tenants identify as the property manager. Although he claimed he does not work here, it seems he did have the authority to ask Orlando police to kick us off the property. That man was back Monday, and our News 6 photographer, Charles Holmes, tried to get him to talk.
How you feeling today?
Can these people get their money back? Are they going to be able to get the money back? How much money does he owe you? How much money?
He owe you how much? Why are you so quiet on this issue?
We were later able to track down his phone number.
Hey, Ramel, it's Mike Valenti with News 6. I have a couple questions for you about the ongoing situation. People are pretty hot out here. And he hung up. Back here live outside the Howard Johnson by Wyndham and inside our News 6 vehicle. We understand that some tenants were able to receive a voucher. They're working with homeless service providers and community legal services who are out here today, and they were taken to other extended stay hotels. But obviously, as you can see, not everyone was able to get out of the elements. Again, not sure what these people are going to do. Before the storms came, when the heat was the primary issue, City of Orlando spokesperson said that they were going to work on it, see what they could do. We were told by Community Legal Services that they were going to send a Lynx bus, actually, with AC so people could wait. But the heat as an issue has now been eclipsed by the storms, the rain, the thunder, lightning. It is not wise to be outside right now, but they have nowhere really to go. So we're going to try to figure out what their future tonight holds for the next week or so. But you can see the building has been vacated. They're going to put a fence around the building. We'll keep you updated, the latest here off of I Drive, the Howard Johnson by Wyndham. But for now, we're live in Orlando. I'm your Orlando community correspondent, Mike Valenti, News 6.
Gosh, Mike, terrible to see those people out on the front lawn in the rain. Thank you for that report. Now let's go to a 3-year-old boy who died after police say he was abused for weeks. Now the child's mother and her boyfriend could be facing the death penalty. Brevard County community correspondent James Sparvero was in court today as jury selection began for the mother's trial.
My son was in the bathtub when my boyfriend had a seizure, and he said he's not breathing.
The 911 call prosecutors say a mother made, lying about how her 3-year-old son died, is one piece of evidence we expect to be presented in the trial of Erica Dotson over the next month.
State of Florida versus Erica Dotson.
The state will try to convince the jury text messages between Dotson and her boyfriend Josh Mans show the truth behind the death of Jamison Nance. In 2021, West Melbourne police said Dotson called her son a jerk. Like, clean the whole house up because Child Protective Services will be there in the morning. Spiral fractures are like that, man. They're super common for child abuse. Prosecutors say Jamison was abused for weeks before his death, and when Dotson brought him to daycare, she told the workers there a duck attacked Jamison and gave him his bruises.
Judge, just so you know, I believe the deputies are getting Mr. Mans into the courtroom.
From covering hearings before trial, I learned the court decided to try Dotson and Mans separately. So while Dotson's trial starts this week, Mans will go on trial sometime afterwards. The state attorney's office tells me Mans will not testify against Dotson, but from previous hearings, it's been made clear that attorneys for both sides will attempt to blame the other for Jamison's death. The state is seeking the death penalty. In Brevard County, I'm your community correspondent, James Sparvero, News 6.
Neighbors fed up with drivers going too fast in Seminole County have reached out to News 6. Our Seminole County community correspondent Catherine Silver went to the area along Dyke Road to see the problem firsthand and see what can be done to keep drivers and homeowners safe.
Some are very cognizant of the speed limits. Others are not so much.
Just north of Howell, Williamson showed us where he sees drivers speeding down Dyke Road. You reached out to us because you say there's a problem with speed.
There's a big problem with speed.
We watched car after car speed by as this sign lights up warning drivers to slow down ahead of the curve. Just down the street, there's still pieces and parts scattered on the ground where one driver crashed into a wall a week ago.
I'm only about 2 houses away from this.
Williamson shared photos of the car flipped on its side and the downed power pole and pointed out other outages from other crashes over the years.
All of a sudden the power goes out, the smoke detectors are ringing, dogs barking, the light comes on, like, whoa, what happened? We've got to do something. I mean, I'm at my wit's end trying to protect my neighbors, my area subdivision neighbors, making sure that everybody's safe.
Williamson said he also reached out to traffic engineering and learned the average speed on this stretch is around 33 miles per hour. The county said it's above the 20-mile-per-hour advisory speed, but not excessive. They've also taken steps to alert drivers ahead of the curve. There's these flashing warning signs.
That wall has been decimated 4 times in the last couple of years.
John Poper's family put up signs of their own, asking drivers to slow down. You just felt you had to do something?
Oh, yeah. I know somewhere down the road there's probably going to be speed tables put in.
The county's clearly taken some steps. Do you
Yes.
think it's enough?
I don't think so. If we can just continue to come up with solutions from the Seminole County engineering as well as maybe the sheriff's office, run some radar, I think we can get it slowed down.
Catherine Silver, News 6.
Well, the new nursing pavilion at UCF is now open.
It features cutting-edge simulation labs that mirror real hospital settings. Still to come, how this facility is preparing the next generation of nurses to meet demands.
In Oviedo, neighbors are baffled by a letter in their mailbox that looks really official, but the mayor says the city didn't send it. The truth behind this solar mailer, next.
Today's Port Canaveral Cam is sponsored by Launch Credit Union.
Well, tonight, people in Oviedo are confused about a letter that showed up in their mailbox. It appears to be official mail from the city.
It advertises solar energy systems, but the mayor claims the city did not send it, and the solar company impersonated the city. But as News 6 anchor and Oviedo community correspondent Eric Von Aken found out, the city actually signed off on it.
This is the letter that has dozens of people across the city sounding off.
Look at the top left-hand corner. That's Oviedo's logo and the address of Oviedo City Hall. Below that, the message. The City of Oviedo and nonprofit Solar United Neighbors are partnering to bring you Switch Together, a group buying program for solar installations.
It organizes joint buying, I guess you might say collaborative buying.
Oviedo's city manager explained it to council members at last month's city council meeting.
Hello, my name is Megan McCollum.
And then this speaker stepped up to the mic and explained it to council members.
When Oviedo joins, residents will receive a mailer featuring the city logo, signaling support and encouraging engagement.
But once the mailer started showing up in mailboxes, the mayor took to Facebook, posting this, quote, "No, the city of Oviedo did not send this. No tax dollars were used to send it. While council did agree to bless their effort, we do not take a position that you should swap to solar." And this, quote, "I wish they had asked us before blatantly impersonating the city. This was a surprise," end of quote. The post generated more than 100 comments, echoing the mayor's surprise. Comments like this: "I find it false advertising that they slapped the city logo on it." And questions like this: "What does it mean for us?" To which the mayor replied, "Nothing. Just ignore it if you don't want solar." But was it really a surprise?
There's no financial commitment on the city. It's just they're asking for the city's support.
At the July council meeting, council members and the mayor, who attended by phone, got this packet as part of the meeting agenda, including this page, a sample of the mailer. And look at the top left-hand corner. That's Tampa's city logo next to the address of Tampa City Hall. It looks almost exactly the same as the one Switch Together sent out in Oviedo after council members voted unanimously.
Councilmember Ott.
Aye.
And the motion carries.
To allow it.
Also in this meeting agenda packet, Switch Together laid out roles and responsibilities for the city, including approve logo use. And this one, review and approve communication materials. Did this part actually happen? Did the city review and approve the letter before it went out? We're asking about that. I'm your Oviedo community correspondent, Eric Von Aken, News 6.
What's going on, guys? We have this here at Thunderstorm Morning. Just popped up hot off the press. I was mentioning before, I was watching the cell in and around Denellen. We have right in between now Bellevue and Denellen a severe thunderstorm warning for this nasty cell right here that's kind of just drifting around Ross Prairie. You see the deep, dark purples in there, so likely a little bit of hail, some small hail. And I don't think anything too crazy with the hail, but certainly going to be watching for the potential here for some damaging wind gusts. We're going to stop the loop here for you so you can actually see what's going on. You can see all of the lightning. We'll get into street level. The worst of this is going to be towards 80th Avenue Road. And by the way, we are in southwest Marion County, southwest of Ocala. We're close just outside of Denellen right now. Southwest Highway 484 toward Rolling Ranches. Denellen, we are officially in the warning, but you see the worst of this is just off to your north and east. Again, it's not even raining right now. We're turned on the loop, and the one issue we were having with a lot of these storms that are firing tonight is that we just don't have a lot of oomph in the atmosphere to push these along. So these are going to be slow moving, likely going to be dealing with some flooding as well. Of course, you can download the free News 6 weather app and track these storms right to your house. So again, it'd be a good idea to do that if you are watching in Marion County or across all of Central Florida where we are watching this. I'm going to stop the loop again, at least if the computer will listen. There we go. And we're going to take a tour here and just go around and take a look what's inside of this storm. We'll work out of the Jacksonville radar. It's a little bit closer to Marion County anyway. You certainly see the lightning strikes. The main threats with this are going to be large hail and then the potential for some damaging wind. Let me turn the lightning off so you can actually see the threat. There's that much lightning involved in this that we are going to be watching that closely. And you see right there that deep dark purple just to the southwest of Ross Perry. I'll get my dabber out here and we'll check up on that. A lot of times radar does overestimate because it's of course very, very warm near the surface. So you get these thunderstorms to produce the ice in the cloud that helps to get the lightning going. And then it gets big enough and it falls to the surface and a lot of it melts. So I would have to think that we're close to quarter, but I think the computer overestimating that. But nonetheless, some nasty thunderstorms tonight. We'll get you back to the actual radar picture now, and we will scan the skies because we do have some nasty thunderstorms in and around all of Central Florida. Again, that's where we have the warning, and that's going to continue for the next 30 minutes here. The storms that we have been watching all afternoon, we've been right around Kissimmee back to Oak Ridge into Orlando. We'll turn on the warnings again. Again, nothing, no warnings here. Turn back on the lightning so you can see what's actually going on, and I will turn the loop on for you over the last 15 minutes. And you can see still in the same area we talked about 20 minutes ago, and we just haven't had much motion here. So eventually going to be watching for some flooding, especially in poor drainage areas as this continues to meander back to the west and then push back to the east. Again, there's not much in the way of steering in the atmosphere tonight to kind of push these along. And you see eventually once we get to the rest of the evening, these are going to try to push back toward I-75. There you go, 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. Wouldn't be surprised if a few of these itty-bitty downpours slide on shore tomorrow to help to give us a wet commute along the I-95 corridor. They should be few and far between, though. Once we get into tomorrow afternoon, you saw just a few thunderstorms. I do think tomorrow we are going to be on the drier side. That's going to be courtesy of Hurricane Aaron. It might be counterintuitive. We'll have a hurricane a few hundred miles off of our coast, but we do get that subsidence or that sinking air on the outer periphery of those storms. And while there will be a few storms around, should not be like tonight. And again, that's going to help to keep things at bay. For that, here's a look at your pinpoint accurate forecast.
Your forecast is sponsored by Payne Law.
Temperatures tomorrow back to the low to mid 90s. Rain chances hanging around 30%, so much lower than what we would typically see as we move into the afternoon. Speaking of Aaron, there it is, Category 4 storm moving off to the north and west. Again, there is the key there, that northwesterly movement. Again, that is not coming to Florida. Although if you look at it from satellite opportunity or satellite map, it looks concerning. It is not for Florida. Again, just dangerous beach days coming your way. 60% shot for storms on Wednesday, same deal Thursday and into the upcoming weekend, guys.
Jonathan, thank you. A new state-of-the-art pavilion just opened at UCF.
It's set to graduate hundreds more nurses to help fill a critical shortage. How this high-tech facility is changing the game for future nurses and what it means for our community. Well, today marked the first day of classes for the fall semester at the University of Central Florida. Mascot Nitro sending students some well wishes on social media. Today, UCF is also celebrating a new facility that leaders say will make a real difference in the future of patient care.
Yeah, we talk about this a lot. A critical shortage of nurses across Florida has hospitals struggling to keep up with the demand. News 6's Angie Casada gives us an inside look into the excitement.
Here in Lake Nona, the new Dr. Phillips Nursing Pavilion is officially open. Take a look at this. Folks are already starting to work, and UCF says that it will graduate hundreds more nurses to help fill that gap.
This state-of-the-art building features high-tech simulation labs mirroring real hospital settings. And with the extra space, UCF can train 150 additional nurses every year.
It is a game changer. So just being able to see all the different, forms of technology and innovation, seeing the different labs and just how they're utilizing newfound technology to kind of just really get our nurses prepared for what they're going to experience in the field is phenomenal.
Its impact that will be felt locally of the university's 17,000 nursing alumni, nearly 60% already work in Central Florida communities, just like Kathy, who's a product of UCF.
Our community is growing. The need for nurses continues to grow. It was never more pronounced than when we went through COVID. So certainly the ability to continue to partner in our communities to be able to graduate more nurses so that we are fortifying our future nursing workforce is critical.
It's so critical. I mean, if you look around Central Florida, every other block is a new ER, a new hospital, a new facility, plus the community. So we really are serving not just the healthcare acute care agencies, but the community.
And with fall classes just getting started, the next wave of night nurses are already training here. Officials say this pavilion will be key to tackling Florida's nursing shortage. Reporting in Lake Nona, I'm Angie Casada, News 6.
Well, a local business owner is calling the e-bike scene the Wild West.
Why police say many riders are breaking the rules and what the city plans to do about it. Glad you're with us. I'm Lisa Bell.
I'm Matt Austin. You're watching News 6 at 5. We appreciate that. We are following several top stories for you right now. Breaking now, in fact, the gas leak near the Winn-Dixie Shopping Center near downtown St. Cloud has been secured. That's according to the St. Cloud Fire Rescue. The leak prompted closures on southbound Narcoossee Road near Hickory Tree Road. They say the road will reopen soon, as well as the businesses in the shopping center.
The city of Orlando has fenced off an extended stay hotel. The Howard Johnson on I Drive near Kirkman Road has just been condemned. Dozens of people who live there were notified last week to leave by today due to safety concerns. News 6 has been there today, where it looks like they are making an encampment of sorts outside. A mother and her boyfriend could be put to death for the murder of a 3-year-old. Trial starts this week for Erica Dotson. Her boyfriend, Josh Mans, will be tried separately at a later date. Dotson's trial is expected to last 4 weeks. The state is seeking the death penalty for both defendants.
Here's a live look from our Light Orlando Delivering Hope camera. Gloomy out there today.
Yeah, some people are describing it as gnarly right now outside. Storms are firing up in Central Florida. Meteorologist Jonathan Kagas is here with the latest, tracking it all for us. Jonathan?
Yeah, and I'm still watching this severe thunderstorm warning in Marion County. This does include Denellen, although the worst of this storm is just off to your east. Some positive signs over the last 10 minutes since we've talked last. The reflectivity, or the color, is starting to come down a little bit. But as that happens, might be losing some of the hail in the mid-levels of this storm, and that could lead to some gusty winds. And that's why this warning is going to roll for another 15 more minutes. Again, pretty much right over Ross Prairie right now. Let me take you a little closer in, and you'll notice again in between all of these lightning strikes, that purple and black color just go to red. Again, that could be the hail core, what we call it, collapsing. And oftentimes as that happens, we watch that very big rush of gusty winds coming through. So again, it's an early heads up as we've been watching this for you in Rolling Ranches, right by Ocala Waterway, Bahia Oaks as well. We are in that. Another nasty storm popping up. No warning here for Ocala, but you'll notice this light shaded color here. That's a significant weather advisory, special weather statement. So we're going to have winds about 40 to 50 miles an hour. It looks like there was another reissuance here of that warning, again, mainly to the west of Ocala. You see that little polygon pop up. So that does now take us out from Rock Springs that I was talking about before, how that the worst of that is going to be back off to your north and west, and that now includes York and the Cotton Plant. You see the purple coming back, at least on this part of the cell. Again, likely some hail in this one. Once that hail core wants to collapse, again, as we call it in the weather world, that's when we can get that big rush of gusty wind. So 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, again, from Mount Olive into Martell. We'll take you a little bit closer in. That's going to be southwest 10th Avenue, southwest 117th Court, where we see that purple there. That's where the most intense part of the storm is. I'm watching these storms across all of Central Florida closely. We'll talk again in about 15 minutes, guys.
Jonathan, thank you. Well, voters in Groveland will head to the polls tomorrow for the District 4 City Council primary. The election comes as the incumbent, Judith Fike, was suspended, then reinstated after controversial posts on social media came out.
Our Lake County community correspondent Emily McLeod spoke with a couple of the candidates ahead of Election Day.
Jim O'Neill, Councilmember Judith Fike, and Michael J. Cox all vying for the open District 4 seat on Groveland City Council. I spoke to O'Neill and J. Cox on Monday to learn more about why they're running. Jim O'Neill is a retired Navy veteran and says he was on the Code Enforcement Board for Winter Garden. For O'Neill, he wants to see more transparency.
One of the things I'd like to introduce into the City Council as well as the city management is an evaluation process. Establish some KPIs, key performance indicators, that the citizens and the city council and the city government will all negotiate as to what it means to be effective in our jobs. And the citizens should have a role in deciding how we are evaluated.
As for Jay Cox, he says he spent the past 25 years writing consensus building codes and laws for construction, even contributing to the 2008 New York City Building Code. He would like to see more fiscal responsibility.
Definitely have financial responsibility, which they don't have. They just think we're a piggy bank and we just keep giving them money. So,
do you think the city council or the city of Groveland needs an overhaul?
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. No, I like the mayor. I like the direction the mayor is heading in some places. In some places, I disagree.
As for the incumbent, Judith Fike, her campaign website shows her platform, which includes growth with purpose, an inclusive community, and investing in the youth. It appears as though all three candidates agree the growth in Groveland is a priority.
This sensible growth, And sensible growth to me is making a rule that 1 acre, 1 house.
There's got to be a rationale behind what we're building and where we're building it and how much we're building of what.
Now, we also reached out to current Groveland council member Judy Fike for an interview. However, we did not hear back. Now, I did speak to Supervisor of Elections for Lake County, Alan Hayes, on the phone, and he says if you requested a vote-by-mail ballot for this election, but you haven't turned it in yet, you're better off going to your polling location in person on Tuesday, turning in your vote-by-mail ballot, having it voided, and voting with a different ballot on Tuesday. He says all vote-by-mail ballots need to be at their office by 7 o'clock p.m. on Tuesday in order to be counted. I'm your Lake County community correspondent, Emily McLeod, News 6.
Central Florida Congressman Corey Mills attended a virtual court hearing today as his former girlfriend seeks a restraining order against him. Mills, seen here on the right side of your screen, sitting next to his attorney, denies any wrongdoing. The congressman's accused of threatening to expose nude photos and videos of his former girlfriend. Now, that woman is Miss United States, Lindsay Langston, and she's asking a judge for a restraining order against Mills. Langston, who was seated to the right of her attorney during that court hearing today online, was planning to present evidence against Mills today, but the judge agreed to postpone the hearing to a future date since both sides said they needed more time to present their case.
7 years after it first opened, the Kissimmee office of the Center
budget cuts. So in April, we announced some funding cuts that we received, and we're just starting to see that reflect in our budget. And we want to make sure that we are sustainable.
The center was busy when we got there, but due to privacy concerns and HIPAA laws surrounding medical testing, we were not able to show people on camera. But several people I spoke with said they were disappointed the center was closing.
We've almost been open for 50 years. We want to be open for another 50 years. So we're focusing on our Orlando location.
People can still get HIV testing in Kissimmee at their clinical partner called Harmony, located in the same building. For other services such as counseling, they'll need to go to the main locations on Mills Avenue and Hillcrest Street in Orlando. Your Osceola County community correspondent, Laverne McGee, News 6.
Well, DeLand city leaders are now looking for solutions for what they call a growing problem with teens and e-bikes. City commissioners say an ordinance is coming which will regulate riders on how and where they're allowed to go. News 6's Volusia County community correspondent Molly Reed breaks down the problem and what the ordinance could look like.
One DeLand business owner here in downtown called the e-bike riding here the Wild West. Now, according to state law, e-bike riders are supposed to be following the same rules as regular bicycles, but the police here say many riders aren't doing that.
Hurt because I would much rather your kid go home with a, let's say, $65 bicycle ticket than me having to show up and we have to tell you, unfortunately, your kid was involved in a serious accident.
Just last month here, a 15-year-old girl was hit by a car and killed on her e-scooter while riding to cross South Woodland Boulevard. DeLand Police Lieutenant Mike Stacy says they're seeing a trend in people on e-bikes and e-scooters, and many breaking the bicycle rules are getting hurt, whether it be their fault or the cars.
The big one is always going to be distractions for, young kids. I've seen kids riding with bikes in their hands, they have their AirPods in, they're kind of oblivious as to what's going on.
The city is looking to beef up those rules with its own ordinance that's currently being drafted. Commissioner Richard Paiva says he's been told several rules are under consideration for it that they can follow under state law.
So it's things like the age of the users of the different devices, the speed limits of the different devices, where the devices can be used.
They could even require helmets.
And we've been having these conversations for years now about when is it going to be regulated.
Downtown DeLand business owner J.C. Figueroa sells e-bikes out of his bike shop and says a crackdown is needed for juveniles and adults.
We're seeing a lot of people without licenses now, getting one form of transportation revoked, and now they're on another self-propelled transportation, which is, they shouldn't be able to do.
Right now, the ordinance is being drafted. It will not be on the agenda for this week's City Commission meeting, but I'm told it will be on the agenda in the coming months. I'm your DeLand Volusia County Community Correspondent Molly Reed, News 6.
NASA is preparing to send humans back to the moon, but with longer missions comes bigger challenges.
How Google and NASA's new AI tool is helping astronauts stay safe far from Earth, and what this means for medical care back home. First, though, Florida's first bear hunt in nearly 10 years is set for December. The legal battle that's now brewing. Next. And tonight, you can try out our all-new primetime schedule on News 6 Plus. Ginger and I have a new take on the day's news on News 6 tonight. That's at 9. Then go in-depth as we track the tropics with meteorologist Jonathan Kegas at 9:30. And then you can watch the late news an hour earlier at 10.
Tonight, a local conservation group is fighting to stop a controversial bear hunt in Florida set for December.
They say the rules are unfair, the science is outdated, and the future of our bears is at risk. News 6's Jana Manohalal explains what's at stake in this legal battle.
Earlier this month,
Appreciate y'all, appreciate the time, and, support the bear hunt.
Florida approved its first bear hunt since 2015, but not without some opposition.
Bears were here on this land first and driven out due to overgrowth in human population and development.
The last time Florida had a bear hunt, the state was forced to shut it down in just 48 hours.
Oh my God.
Now, Bear Warriors United is petitioning for the stop to this year's planned hunt before any bear dies.
This is being politically based, and it's being done because so many of the commissioners on the FWC board are actually developers themselves.
Raquel Levy is one of the attorneys for the group, and she shared with me why the nonprofit is going after FWC.
They have given their authority to an executive director to make decisions for them, and they're not allowed to do this. It's a very narrow attack that we're doing on the FWC, but we're doing it in such a way that we're hoping that this will block the 2025 bear hunt.
The petition argues that the FWC ignored its own rules by relying on outdated data outlined in the 2019 Black Bear Management Plan, a plan that demands current, peer-reviewed scientific backing for all decisions on bear hunts, with Katrina Shaddix, the executive director for the group, calling the entire endeavor nothing more than trophy hunting. As for FWC, the agency told me it does not comment on pending litigation. In Orlando, Jana Manohalal, News 6.
Marion County is stuck in a severe thunderstorm warning right now. Jonathan Kegas, what's going on?
Yeah, we have a new one now for Marion County. It's extended back off to the north and west of Ocala. I'll show you that new box that's popping up here. That's including us in Reddick. And then just now on the west side of town, too, that box was included, this polygon, that yellow shaded area, included in parts of Marion County. A couple of storms getting together and getting a little rowdy out there. So I'm going to turn on the loop for you and show you exactly how this came to be. That new development over Ocala kind of ran into the old thunderstorm there, helped to pulse things up even further. And that is why we have this additional warning popping up that also includes us in Fellowship. Again, tons and tons of lightning around. Main threat with this is going to be gusty, damaging winds, potentially up to 60 miles an hour. We'll take you a little bit closer in. Again, downtown Ocala, we're right on the fringe here. So the east side of town, we're looking okay right now anyway. But then on the west side of town, closer to Ocala Ridge, West Silver Springs Boulevard, we have that purple stripe right over us, the very heavy rain, likely some small hail in there at the very least, and that's where we could see some of those damaging wind gusts. Continuing down West Highway 40 into Mount Olive and into Cotton Plant tonight, Southwest 117th Court, we are under the gun here for some of the strongest stuff that we have. I'm going to back this out. I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to get some of the lightning off of your screen here so you can actually see what's going on. I'll keep the warnings overlaid here. We're going to work out of the Jacksonville radar for a little bit because that's the closest radar to us in Marion County. We'll turn the threat level on. It helps kind of remove some of the noise here. And where you see the purple, that is where we're going to have the opportunity for some hail. So closer to Ocala Ridge and to North Blitchen Road here, that's where we are going to be watching for some hail. North 44th Avenue as well. Get the dabber out for you so we can kind of poke around the map and see what the computer is estimating. So hail about the size of quarters is going to be possible, maybe a little bit smaller than that due to the fact that it's really warm outside. We're likely going to see some melting of that hail. We'll take it closer back into the purple Northwest 78th Avenue as well. We could have some small hail, maybe a little bit lower or smaller than the quarter size hail. But again, that warning is going to continue for us in Marion County until about 6:15 tonight. We might end up seeing more development here as we are watching all these cells kind of come together. We also have some nasty thunderstorms, not severe at this moment. We're going to get back to the Melbourne radar. We have three main radars that we work with the National Weather Service here. The closest one into the Orlando Metro is in Melbourne, Oak Ridge into Orlando, Conway getting closer to the airport as well. So if you have family and friends getting ready to come off a flight, it's likely going to take some time as there's going to be a lot of lightning again associated with this cell that's kind of drifting back to the east. This is the one that we were watching that was pounding us in Windermere and Dr. Phillips about 30 minutes ago. Now I'm watching this slowly jog back to the east a little bit. Not forgetting about you guys in Sumter County as well, watching this nasty cell. No warning on this, but hanging right over Webster into Bushnell, Coleman. I'll turn the loop on this so you can see exactly where this is going for you, and everything filling in just to the south of us in Lake Panisofsky. It's trying to push to the west. The west coast sea breeze is hanging out close by. It might try to force everything back east, so I'm watching for you guys in Leesburg and eventually Assateague to see if we get some of that pushback back in. Here's a live look outside in Ocala. Again, we're on the west side closer to the fringe of that storm. You see WeatherStem there reporting the 81-degree temperature and that thunderstorm nearby. We're also watching, again, the darker clouds in Denellen, and this gives us a good shot here. Again, it's dry in Denellen right now. On the outside, we're getting that thunderstorm. You can see the dark clouds, and that's that big cluster of thunderstorms that I've been watching for you for the last 30 or 40 minutes. So here's what's going on the rest of your evening. There's 7 o'clock, and there's everything that's firing up there, trying to push back toward the I-75 corridor. Eventually, we see things fizzle out. Still could have a few downpours lingering by 10. And then tomorrow, I think we're going to see lower chance for rain, and that's going to be courtesy of Hurricane Aaron passing safely out to sea by several hundred miles. Now here's a look at your forecast.
Your forecast is sponsored by Publix.
High temperatures tomorrow back in the low to mid 90s. Rain chances a little bit lower, not zero, but 30%. And over the next few days, we're going to keep them on the lower side, relatively speaking. Rain chances Wednesday and Thursday back up to kind of where we should be for this time of the year, but a relatively speaking drier day tomorrow, guys.
Jonathan, thank you. Still to come, the internet's impact on our language.
Why some slang terms made famous on TikTok are here to stay. But first, keeping astronauts healthy on long missions, how cutting-edge technology could change space travel.
Coming up in the morning, homeowners in another Central Florida city facing a big hike to their water bill.
Yeah, I'll tell you why the mayor says his hands are tied and when the sticker shock could set in.
Plus, the latest on Aaron and the dangerous surf it's churning along our coast.
We'll see you for News 6 mornings starting at 6.
As part of future missions to return humans to the moon and beyond, ensuring the health and wellness of Artemis astronauts is a top priority. So due to limitations in space, NASA and Google have teamed up to develop a cutting-edge solution. The Crew Medical Officer Digital Assistant is an AI-powered tool designed to help astronauts diagnose and treat medical issues when Earth-based doctors cannot be reached in real time. So this system uses advanced natural language processing and machines learning to analyze symptoms and provide reliable medical support. The tool was trained on spaceflight medical data and tested in simulated scenarios to ensure accuracy. Well, it's safe to say that social media plays a significant role in the rapid rise of trends today.
I don't know why, but this story makes me really angry. More than 6,000 new words have been added to the Cambridge Dictionary, and among the most notable are slang terms that have gained popularity on TikTok. You ready for these?
Sure.
There's skibbity.
What is that?
Defined, nobody knows. In the dictionary as a word that can have different meanings, such as cool or bad, or no real meaning as a joke, like what the skibbity are you doing? I still don't understand what that means. Then there's delulu, which first popped up about a decade ago to call out really obsessive K-pop fans.
Okay.
It's now turned into common online way of saying that someone is just delusional.
Okay.
Delulu.
That makes a little bit of
Makes
sense.
I've heard
Skibbity
this-
does not.
Yeah, no. Then you've got trad wife, which has been added, a shortened term for traditional wife, used to describe influencers who celebrate that role. And then you have, this is for you, Lisa, work spouse, a phrase for a friendly workplace relationship between two people. So
That's
work
been
spouse.
around for a minute, but what happens if you have two work spouses, Matt?
I don't know.
It can get dicey.
Hopefully you and Ginger don't fight
right?
over me.
Yes. Ginger, he is all yours. He's in.
Nobody's
right.
fighting over
Ginger
me.
is in the newsroom with what's coming up on News 6 at 6.
Yeah, that list proves I was definitely born in the 1900s. Thank you, Lisa and Matt. More than 3 dozen people are on the streets tonight after being forced out of the motel where they were staying. What's being done to try and help these people now forced out into the streets because of issues with the building? Plus, leaders in one community who said they were being impersonated by a business are walking back those claims. We'll show you why. And we are working to learn more details about what fire crews call a gas line leak near a shopping center in Osceola County. Our Troy Campbell will have a live report with the latest coming up. Now at 6, a number of people are being forced out of their homes after inspectors found it's no longer safe.
Where are you going to go now?
I have no idea. I have no clue.
Plus, jury selection is underway in the case of a mother and her boyfriend in a young child's death. And later, after initially saying they were being impersonated by a business, we're learning a community actually did give the go-ahead. We're getting answers to this whole back and forth. News 6 at 6 starts now. And we start tonight with breaking news that you probably just got on your phone. An Amber Alert has been issued out of Palm Beach County for 2 children. 3-year-old Anzian Turner and 11-year-old Akachi Turner were last seen today in the Rivera Beach area. That's just north of Palm Beach. Officials say they were last seen with 43-year-old Audrey Turner and may be traveling in a black Toyota sedan with damage to the front. Officials say they may be on their way to the Atlanta area with another woman. So if you know where they may be or see them, you're asked to call 911 right away.
All right, let's take a live look at the roads. It's been interesting out there. Wet conditions as rain has been pouring on Central Florida Parkway near the outlets for hours now. Rain, big concern tonight with a number of warnings.
Yeah, meteorologist Jonathan Kegas is in tonight. And Jonathan, how much longer are we going to see these warnings stick around?
Yeah, hopefully not too much longer. This one's in Marion County that I've been watching for the last 45 minutes. That one officially expires at 6:15, and hopefully we'll pipe things down just a little bit, but still kind of nasty for us in Marion County. Also, we have a storm in Lake and Orange County. Those are just below severe levels. So we'll get to those in just 1 second, but certainly rocking there. Look at all the lightning hanging around. This is kind of sliding up, just drifting north out of downtown Ocala and then into Reddick again. It's not moving much, and we know all too well from late last week with these storms that just kind of sit on top of us. We can get flooding very easily, and a flood advisory also embedded in there. You see that green box that just popped up because we've had a ton of rain in a short amount of time. New cell that's just trying to pop up around Bellevue. So I would not be surprised if we see this get warned as it kind of joins the action and combines with those nasty thunderstorms for us in Marion County. There's all the lightning and the action around Webster and Bushnell. Very, very heavy rain, some gusty winds, maybe some small hail embedded. And then we also have the storm just to the south of the Orlando metro area, closer to the airport. I'm watching these for you. We'll talk again at about 6:15, guys.
Jonathan, thank you. To Osceola County tonight, where part of a shopping center is being emptied out due to a gas leak.
Yeah, St. Cloud fire crews were called near the Winn-Dixie. It's near the corner of South Narcoossee Road and US 192. They were called out just before 3 this afternoon and have closed southbound lanes on Narcoossee.
So News 6's Troy Campbell arrived at the scene a short time ago. So what's going on out there, Troy?
Well, yeah, take a look yourself. You can see right behind me, utility crews. They are continuing to make those repairs right here. This is along South Narcoossee Road, which again had to be shut down. Thankfully, that road is now back open. Now, St. Cloud Fire Rescue says it had to evacuate several of these businesses here in the Winn-Dixie Shopping Center after a gas leak was discovered. Again, this is near the intersection of South Narcoossee Road and East Earl Bronson Memorial Highway. St. Cloud police say they shut down southbound Narcoossee Road and were detouring traffic to 10th Street. We're told that gas leak was reported after there was a strong smell of gas in this air that many people reported. Thankfully, we're told that gas line, it has been secured, and the businesses in this area appear to now be reopened. So again, you can see those utility crews continuing to make those repairs. And again, traffic, again, once again, flowing in this area. Live in St. Cloud, Troy Campbell, News 6.
All right, Troy, thank you. Well, after a long day at work, many people just want to sit down, unwind, eat some dinner. Maybe you're doing that right now. But that's not possible for about 40 people living near our theme parks.
Yeah, sadly, that's true. Our crews were there as more than 36 people were forced to leave the Howard Johnson Motel on International Drive due to no fault of their own.
Last week, we showed you this notice taped to the door showing the water was shut off at the building because the bill went unpaid by the property owners. No water means no sprinklers in the event of a fire, but the fire department found the fire alarms in the building weren't working either, leading to the vacating notice right there. Orlando community correspondent Mike Valenti talked to a number of people there tonight who say they have nowhere to go.
This is definitely an unconventional way to start any story, but due to the thunder, lightning, and rain, we were forced inside the News 6 vehicle to start this story Monday afternoon, but not everyone had the same luxury. You can see there are some tenants, or people who had been staying at the Howard Johnson by Wyndham, who are now outside trying to brave the elements. It's unclear where they're going to go from here, but they can't go back inside the building because it's been condemned. They were forced out at 10 a.m. The water, electricity, and gas have all been shut off. And before the storms, it was really the heat that was the primary issue.
Just feet away from a building that no longer has power, first responders tended to a young child apparently suffering from a heat-related illness. We're told he and his family were outside for hours, along with their belongings, waiting for a ride to another extended stay. The frustration here has been boiling since the sun came up Monday morning.
It's hot out here. We ain't got nowhere to go. We ain't got nothing to eat, nothing to drink.
It's too hot for the puppies.
It's way too hot for these puppies.
These are just some of the dozens forced out of the Howard Johnson Monday. The city condemning the building due to, quote, immediate life safety concerns. Last week, we learned the fire alarms inside did not work, and the owners had not paid the water bill.
Where are you going to go now?
I have no idea. I have no clue.
You know, we just trying to see what we can gather up and fight our money back.
Many people here tell us they paid rent right before they learned last week they would have to leave. And they don't know if they'll get that money back or the security deposit.
Ramel, you able to tell us anything about what's happening? Why it was condemned? No. Are you the property manager?
No.
Is your name not?
But they're telling me to tell you to get the news off the property, the owner.
Who's
the
there?
Police, yeah.
Okay.
So
you don't work here?
No.
They're saying you're the property manager, no? No. Okay.
That was our exchange last Thursday with the man tenants identify as the property manager. Although he claimed he does not work here, it seems he did have the authority to ask Orlando police to kick us off the property. That man was back Monday, and our News 6 photographer, Charles Holmes, tried to get him to talk.
How are you feeling today?
Can these people get their money back? Are they going to be able to get the money back? How much money does he owe you? How much money?
He owe you how much?
$1,500.
Why are you so quiet on this issue?
We were later able to track down his phone number.
Hey, Ramel, it's Mike Valenti with News 6. I have a couple questions for you about the ongoing situation. People are pretty hot out here. And he hung up. What you're seeing out on the lawn right now looks like a mini encampment put together by a small percentage of the people that had been living inside the Howard Johnson. Now, we do know of other tenants who've received vouchers. They've been taken to other extended stay hotels, other bridge housing accommodations, but we'll continue to ask questions, of course, about these people, about where they can go to get out of the elements. As for the building itself, again, it has been condemned due to what the city calls immediate life safety concerns. The city, as we speak, is putting a fence around the property to make sure no one can get inside. We're live in Orlando. I'm your Orlando community correspondent, Mike Valenti, News 6.
Well, 4 years after a 3-year-old boy died after police say he was abused for weeks, jury selection is underway in the trial against the child's mother. She could be put to death if found guilty. Brevard County community correspondent James Barbero was in court today and shows us where things stand.
My son was in the bathtub when my boyfriend had a seizure, and he said he's not breathing.
The 911 call prosecutors say a mother made, lying about how her 3-year-old son died, is one piece of evidence we expect to be presented in the trial of Erica Dotson over the next month.
State of Florida versus Erica Dotson.
The state will try to convince the jury text messages between Dotson and her boyfriend Josh Mans show the truth behind the death of Jamison Nance. In 2021, West Melbourne police said Dotson called her son a jerk. Like, clean the whole house up because Child Protective Services will be there in the morning. Spiral fractures are like that, man. They're super common for child abuse. Prosecutors say Jamison was abused for weeks before his death, and when Dotson brought him to daycare, she told the workers there a duck attacked Jamison and gave him his bruises.
Judge, just so you know, I believe the deputies are getting Mr. Mans into the courtroom.
From covering hearings before trial, I learned the court decided to try Dotson and Manns separately. So while Dotson's trial starts this week, Manns will go on trial sometime afterwards. The state attorney's office tells me Manns will not testify against Dotson, but from previous hearings, it's been made clear that attorneys for both sides will attempt to blame the other for Jamison's death. The state is seeking the death penalty. In Brevard County, I'm your community correspondent, James Sparvero, News 6.
A local woman is now sharing her painful story about falling victim to a romance scam that cost her more than $60,000 in 6 weeks.
It happens more than you might think. The Federal Trade Commission says last year alone, Floridians lost nearly $100 million to scams like this. News 6 investigator Lewis Bolden has the signs to watch out for to avoid falling victim yourself.
It was like pen pals. We were just talking innocently.
On Facebook, Carol West thought she was talking to a decorated Army officer, a commanding 4-star general who claimed to be deployed in South Korea.
Sent me pictures of him in his uniform and sent me pictures of his dog tags, his driver's license, his passport.
The messages came multiple times a day and became more intimate.
It's exciting. I would sit up and wait for him to text me.
But the texts took a turn. He had a box full of precious Army medals, but having them securely shipped back to the U.S. would cost $7,500, he said. West agreed to send it. He wanted it sent via gift and gaming cards. She bought the cards, lots of them, but the items supposedly got stuck in customs in Mexico, and the Mexican government needed $30,000 in cash.
So like a fool, I cashed in my only CD I had and mailed the cash.
Over 6 weeks, she sent more than $60,000. It was only when her bank accounts were empty did she realize it was a scam.
I was sick. I was sick to my stomach. How could I fall for this?
West is by no means alone. According to the FTC, last year in Florida, there were almost 3,400 reports of romance scams, and Floridians lost nearly $93 million. To protect yourself, never send money to someone you've only met online.
The Volusia County Sheriff's Office tells me there could be an arrest in this case soon, so stay tuned. Remember, don't fall for the scheme, don't get ripped off, but if you do, email me at theinvestigators@wkmg.com. I'm Lewis Bolden, News 6.
Well, still to come on News 6, city leaders are backtracking after claiming a business stole their logo. We're getting to the bottom of what happened.
Plus, just 10 days until college football kicks off in Central Florida. We're checking in with the Knights as the season gets closer.
And we're continuing to keep an eye on Hurricane Aaron churning in the Atlantic. Jonathan will have an update on the effects we could feel after the break.
This portion of the news is sponsored by Advent Health, helping the communities we serve to feel whole.
Well, tonight, people in Oviedo are confused about this letter that showed up in their mailbox, appearing to be official mail from the city.
Yeah, it advertises solar energy systems, but the mayor claims the city did not send it, and the solar company impersonated the city.
But as Oviedo community correspondent, News 6 anchor Eric Von Aken found out, the city actually did sign off on it.
This is the letter that has dozens of people across the city sounding off.
Look at the top left-hand corner. That's Oviedo's logo and the address of Oviedo City Hall. Below that, the message. The City of Oviedo and nonprofit Solar United Neighbors are partnering to bring you Switch Together, a group buying program for solar installations.
It organizes joint buying, I guess you might say collaborative buying.
Oviedo's city manager explained it to council members at last month's city council meeting.
Hello, my name is Megan McCollum.
And then this speaker stepped up to the mic and explained it to council members.
When Oviedo joins, residents will receive a mailer featuring the city logo, signaling support and encouraging engagement.
But once the mailer started showing up in mailboxes, the mayor took to Facebook, posting this, quote, "No, the city of Oviedo did not send this. No tax dollars were used to send it. While council did agree to bless their effort, we do not take a position that you should swap to solar." And this, quote, "I wish they had asked us before blatantly impersonating the city. This was a surprise," end of quote. The post generated more than 100 comments, echoing the mayor's surprise. Comments like this: "I find it false advertising that they slapped the city logo on it." And questions like this: "What does it mean for us?" To which the mayor replied, "Nothing. Just ignore it if you don't want solar." But was it really a surprise?
There's no financial commitment on the city. It's just they're asking for the city's support.
At the July council meeting, council members and the mayor, who attended by phone, got this packet as part of the meeting agenda, including this page, a sample of the mailer. And look at the top left-hand corner. That's Tampa's city logo next to the address of Tampa City Hall. It looks almost exactly the same as the one Switch Together sent out in Oviedo after council members voted unanimously.
Councilmember Ott.
Aye.
And the motion carries.
To allow it.
Also in this meeting agenda packet, Switch Together laid out roles and responsibilities for this city, including approve logo use. And this one, review and approve communication materials. Did this part actually happen? Did the city review and approve the letter before it went out? We're asking about that. I'm your Oviedo community correspondent, Eric Von Aken, News 6.
All right, time now to check out our forecast with meteorologist Jonathan Kagas. The warnings are all done,
Yes.
but things are still popping outside.
It is, yeah, a lot of lightning out there. We have some flood advisories now in play to kind of take over because we've been mentioning all night the storms just aren't moving much and they are producing a lot of heavy rain. Still lots and lots of lightning on the radar. Good news is the storm over the Orlando metro area closer to the airport, it's kind of petering out. Still a lot of lightning with that, so be careful if you plan to head outside tonight over the next 15 minutes. We'll go bounce around the radar. And of course, you can always stay up to date by downloading the free News 6 weather app. You get lightning detection on that as well. It's one of the best tools on the app. We're going to take you back into Marion County. This is where the action is, of course. Don't want to forget about you guys from Coleman and Bushnell, Webster. I've been watching that cell for you, and there's a lot of action, a lot of lightning going on here. What the deal is now, you see all the darker purples and greens and reds and yellows. That is going to be some very, very heavy rain. So we're going to do some radar work here just to get in this and just kind of estimate what's going on in terms of the rainfall over the last hour. And again, that's one of my main concerns now is going to be the potential for some flooding as it continues to rain. We'll get some of the lightning off in all these boxes so you can actually see what's going on. There is a lot of stuff happening tonight. We'll bring out the dabber. We're going to go right back into Ocala. You remember we just had some flooding the other night. And again, this is just in the last hour, about 2 to 3 inches of rain falling on the west side of Ocala, and especially here in the deep dark yellow. We have that, if you can hear some bells and whistles going off again in the weather center. So you might have, that's another warning that's popping up. We're going to turn the warnings back on to see, in fact, where that is when it pops up on the map. Sometimes it takes a second to do that. But nonetheless, we're going to be watching these. We'll turn back on the actual radar so we can get into the reflectivity, the normal radar, what you would see on your weather app as well, just to kind of see. I'm not seeing it yet, so it could have just been a reissuance of a warning pop-up. We'll continue to monitor that situation, though, and come back to it. Scattered thunderstorms in the mix for the rest of the evening. I think tomorrow morning we're going to run the shot anyway of a stray downpour coming back our way, especially along the coast. That is going to be a flash flood warning now for Marion County. So that's why we heard the bells and whistles going off. And that is what we had the other day. I think it was Thursday night that we had the very, very heavy rainfall. So again, flash flood warnings are the ones that trigger your bells and whistles on your phone. Those are the ones you really don't want to play around with. So if you do have that flash flood warning, make sure that you are not doing anything and driving through those roads. Now, 30% shot for storms tomorrow. We're back to 94 degrees in Orlando, 93 degrees in Groveland. Holopaw, we are at 93 degrees. Now here's a look at your forecast.
Sponsored by Strata Air Conditioning and Heating. AC emergency, you ought to call Strata.
Temperatures getting back into the mid-90s over the next couple of days. We have a 30% shot for storms on Tuesday, 60% chance on Wednesday and Thursday. Temperature is going to be hanging out into the middle 90s. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to News 6. Pretty soon, UCF is going to have to roll somebody out at quarterback. Cam Fancher, Taven Jackson, and Jakari Brown continue to battle it out ahead of the season opener a week from Thursday. So who's it going to be? Here's head coach Scott Frost earlier today.
The good thing, the way our schedule sets up, we got to pick one for this first game. We'll have a longer prep for game 2 and then a bye week before game 3. So we'll have a little time to catch up. I'm not sure I'll say before game day, but I think I'll know before game day. I wouldn't spring that on somebody right before a game. I think they got to get their mind right for whatever their role is and embrace their role. So, hopefully we have an idea here this coming week.
Well, someone's going to start against Jacksonville State on the 28th. Frost is obviously fixated on that position and more. Guys, though, are pumped during this stretch of camp. They can see the light at the end of the tunnel, And that optimism about a fresh start for everyone seems contagious.
I'm itching. I mean, shoot, I'm sick of hitting my own guys. I want to go hit someone else now, you know what I mean? So I'm really excited. I'm really blessed, and I'm excited to play in front of the bounce house and get our fans in there.
First game, I'm looking forward to the excitement of the bounce house. I know I've been talking to a lot of the UCF fans with all the signing day we did the other day, which was awesome. Everyone's excited. There's a lot of anticipation.
Well, Gators center Jake Slaughter has been named to the Associated Press preseason All-America first team today. Congrats to the Ocala native. Meanwhile, head coach Billy Napier spoke to reporters just minutes ago. The number one question on everyone's mind, what is the status of starting QB DJ Lagway? Well, some good news. Napier said the sophomore took part in team drills and did more in today's practice than he'd been able to do before. He reportedly did not play in this past Saturday's scrimmage as he continues to deal with a calf strain. When he does get back out there, the swamp will be packed as usual because once again, Gator season tickets sold out. That's according to a school announcement, which added that tickets for some individual games are still available but are going fast. Florida has completely sold out 12 consecutive home games. FSU will jump right into the fire this season. Noles open up against Alabama a week from Saturday. That's number 8 Crimson Tide. The urgency got to be there every single day. One thing that has been evident, though, has been effort. So you got that going for you. Yeah, easy way to get into it.
Whoever made that scheduling decision, you're fired.
All right, Jonathan, we got a little bit going on, but you're streaming about it.
We do streaming right after this show, about 6:40. Hit us up on YouTube and on News 6 Plus. We'll be giving you the latest.
All right, more
thank you,
news coming up at 9 o'clock at clickorlando.com and the News 6 Plus streaming app.
Have a great